shares your interests.
I linked to it direct. Is the biggest poker player out there. He freaked out. He used the F word. It was a lot. He was very mad at Riverside.
What was his?
I think his main thing was like he was doing an interview via Riverside, and I think he uses Firefox and doesn't run on Firefox.
That's
then he
correct.
installed Chrome. It didn't work on the Chrome version he installed or something.
Oh boy!
So then he had to put it on his phone, and
no good.
Yeah, he was very upset. So at first it's funny because they mentioned it in like the opening clips of his podcast, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna get some like free publicity. And then it's like a minute in, and he's just like destroying it. You're like, oh, that's bad publicity. But all publicity is good publicity, right? So maybe it's fine.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
They've just rolled out like a whole new editor, and of course, just like everybody, they're like, we've got MCP, and they're.
I saw that. Yeah, they're doing all this stuff. I mean,
MCP,
I'm okay with a lot. I'm not exactly sure what I'd use it in here for, but I mean, I guess you could come up with something. Pulling out the transcripts or whatever.
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to say I'll experiment with something like, like look up this segment and make a 60-second video just to see what can it do.
That's true. I guess that I can edit. It's going to make the videos on the other end for you, right?
Again,
in theory.
That's on I put that on my to-do list to experiment with this weekend. We'll see how it does.
Well, this new interface is terrible, so I hope they rethink this thing because it's not. It's like, I mean, I can't get the windows in the same spot ever. I'm always in a different spot, and every time we record, I'm in a different location. It's crazy. I don't know who thinks it's a good idea. I want to be in the same spot every time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ian Complains About Riverside.
Oh, I'm trying.
What just happened there?
Oh, are you seeing this?
Around?
You can see
are you moving stuff around?
Yeah, hold on. I didn't know I could do that. No. How can I do it? I'm the guest.
No, don't let him do anything. That's trouble.
Oh my God, this doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand what's going on here. All right, well, whatever. Okay. All right. Time is it 2:00?
Give a couple more minutes here.
Yeah, we'll give the people a couple more minutes.
I don't see that I'm live on Twitter. Never mind. I made that up. Okay. You had to refresh. It had the old outro effect. I had to actually hit a hard refresh.
Right, yeah. It's live if you just refresh it over and over.
Right, yeah.
I just saw the Twitter designer guy you guys all love. He was saying how he gets to go upstairs between XAI and Twitter or something. And he goes up and down the stairs every day, multiple times a day.
Yeah, and I keep trying to use the Gopher to add a topic, and it keeps not working.
What? You just told me the other day it's working great. What happened?
The other day was the other day.
Are you on the on-air page instead of
I'm on the on-air page, yeah. I'm trying to add one for AMP Orbs. Let me see. All right. AMP just launched Orbs. Do some research.
You know what it is? It could be coming late because Laravel Cloud spins down all my workers. So it could be slightly delayed in that regard. I haven't touched anything.
This is the third time, so it'll be the charm.
We got good stuff coming for you, Ian. Don't worry.
I want minimum. I heard it's about faster. I don't want faster. I want minimum.
Minimum.
That's what I want.
Fast. It's
all there. I like faster too. Faster's great.
Yeah, no. It's all coming.
But I want minimum.
It's all coming.
All right. Something just popped in here. So I think
AMP launches agents in Orbs. There we go.
Look at that.
No content, though.
Let me just pop out quick. I wonder if you added it somewhere else. No, it didn't add it somewhere else.
Okay. Might have gone somewhere else as well.
No, it didn't. I don't know. Something's broken. We'll figure it out. We're back on now.
Fideloper's very upset that you said something bad about Laravel Cloud. So
when
he's watching.
Right now?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Go fix it,
Listen,
Chris.
I'm trying to pay you guys money. You don't want my money.
We want your money. Don't worry.
I want to pay my $4 a month and just always have a worker. That's what I want.
We'll get there.
We're so close. Cloud is almost perfect.
We're so close.
We get that. We get the access, working logs on the queues because I want to see what correctly ran, which I think I heard is coming too. I think I'm not sure about that. And then I think Laravel Cloud's perfect. That's it. You guys can fire everybody and just keep a skeleton crew to keep it running, and we're good.
That.
We're done.
Let's not do that.
No, Laravel Cloud has been good. Outro's cooking along. Got no cloud complaints other than my workers. Yeah, I haven't been in there in a while. We moved a bunch of stuff over to Laravel Cloud. So
Oh, look at that.
Hey, we already got some chatters in here.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody?
We got
What's up, party people?
They're hanging out. We're back. They thought we were never coming back. We're back. Beverage.
All right, a couple more minutes, or when do you guys want to start?
Well, it's still 1:03 official Apple time, so I think we wait till 1:05 official Apple time.
1:05.
All right.
Apple's like the new naval observatory. They keep the time.
Instead of Greenwich Mean Time, it's official Apple time, like that.
Growing up, my dad, who's much like me in that he's very normal, would call the naval observatory and wait for the tone so he could set his watch. It was like, like a once a week, once a month thing. I would hear the official time is 12. Boop! And it was like, yeah, got it. So yeah, I come by it honestly.
There you go. Time's very important.
Being a weird little guy is important too.
Yeah, you gotta get some more weird old guy stuff going on here, Aaron.
I've got plenty of weird guy stuff. I just don't have like weird boomer stuff yet.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
Do we want to rearrange these topics at all?
What do we got?
Let's move AMP after cursor.
I feel like we have to start with Fable, don't you think, or no?
I think so.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Redeploying Fable.
Do you want to move Sonnet up to be right after Fable, or you want to leave that for the end?
Let's leave Sonnet for the end.
Okay.
Should we do this week before the Q&A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, move that. Okay. There's a couple good ones in here. Let's see. Oh, you gave it a link. Okay. Agents in orbs.
While we're waiting quickly,
what
Aaron,
software?
I was going to say.
Cupertino time. I like that. What software am I using for recording video? The software I use for recording video is ScreenFlow. Out there, I run multiple cameras into OBS. But here I'm just streaming, and that goes through a Canon camera into an Elgato capture card, and then it's just a webcam in here.
All right, I think it's time, gentlemen.
All right, let's party.
Let's do this.
All right, ready? Hold on, let me just reorganize one thing.
Now, this says today is XXX, so don't read that part. Let me put in.
I gotta get a dynamic insertion
in
there
for you. Today is July 2nd.
I can see that you're editing it. Oh, this is fancy.
You go.
I built this.
You did build this.
Look at that. That was sexy. Holy cow. That's like super useful. I saw you editing that. That's crazy. All right. You ready? Oh, yeah. We're at a lot of practice here. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Token Town. It's July 2nd, 2026. I'm your host, Ian Landsman.
And I am your other host, Aaron Francis. Fable is back. Everybody's moving to the cloud. Sam Altman is being generous, maybe? I don't think so. But before that, Ian, tell us about our friends at Bento.
Bento, the email marketing and CRM platform built for the AI era. Send your product marketing and transactional email with Bento, and check out their new transactional email pricing rates with rates as low as 9 cents per 1,000. That's very inexpensive. So check them out, bentonow.com. Thanks to Bento for sponsoring the show. And if you would like to sponsor the show, go to tokentown.com, learn more, get on the air here, get your brand right there. So thank you, though, to Bento for sponsoring and being our founding sponsor, which was very, very nice of them to go out on a limb for us.
We do love bento. You know what else we love? Some Fable 5. Fable is back. All right.
Is it back?
So
I don't know.
that's the question.
Yeah.
Well, two questions. Two questions really. Is it back? That's the first question. I have found so far that it is back.
Okay.
Second question is, was this all a stunt? And who's at fault here? So let's start with, is it back? You have expressed some frustration that it's back, but it's actually secretly routing to worse models.
Well,
so
not secretly. That's the thing. Like, they, in the announcement, it's like, we are going to route all your coding requests to 4.8. Now, I have not actually had a chance to try it. You, it sounds like, have tried it, and you are finding it routing still the Fable.
I have tried it, and I would like to correct the record that you just recorded, and say that they didn't say all coding requests are going to route to Opus 4.8. They said a small subset of sensitive or whatever requests. So
that's what they said in the tweet. I don't know. We got to live check this one. I don't think in the tweet that's how they worded it.
I think so. This is one of my problems. What's one of your
problems?
All right. So one of my problems with Anthropic is their communications pipeline is very unclear. We covered the whole Claude-P thing several weeks ago. Now they're tweeting, they're writing a blog post, and then
they all say different things.
And Tariq is tweeting, and they all say different things.
Okay, so I found the tweet. So just for the record,
and I have the blog post, so you go first.
In the tweet, it says, in the near term, some routine tasks like coding and debugging will fall back on Opus 4.8. So it's saying some routine tasks, such as coding and debugging,
that is what it's saying,
will fall back to Opus 4.8. That's not like dangerous coding tasks, or
that is correct.
It's national security coding. It just says routine things like coding will fall back to 4.8. It's pretty absolute. So okay, but now, in the blog post, what's it say?
In the blog post, now you look up Tariq's tweet while I'm reading the blog post. So you look up the DevRel guy. The blog post says the new classifier also comes at the cost of flagging benign requests more often during routine coding and debugging tasks. So the blog post says our new government imposed safety guardrails will happen more often while you're coding, not that coding will automatically trigger them. Now, what does Tariq say?
Okay, so Tariq, I don't actually see where he followed up. I have him here, but I have to say I can't find. He said something to the effect of like very limited. That it'll rarely hit is what he effectively said. Like I can't find
a small fraction from July 1st. A small fraction. This is even more conservative than the blog post. A small fraction of routine coding and debugging tasks will be flagged and fall back to Opus.
I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, so I guess maybe routine was in the wrong spot in the first tweet.
Yeah,
possibly. Although you would think routine coding tasks should never be flagged.
Move fast and confuse things. They're executing that playbook well. I will say from my experience thus far. So I've had to use it in the Claude desktop app because as of by the time I was going home yesterday, it still wasn't available in Claude Code, which is frustrating because they said it would be.
Right.
So I fired up the desktop app like a non-technical person, insane, like a big old normie. And I was able to pick Fable there, and I started doing coding tasks there. And I have not yet run into, hey, we're switching the model, or hey, we're falling back, or we can't do this request. And it's been running. I mean, I've had it running for several hours. So, but I haven't been doing a very diverse set of tasks. So maybe that is more important than the total wall clock time. So I don't know, but Fable is back. That's the headline.
It is back, I guess. I'm excited. So I was on vacation last week, so I've just been clearing the decks, like getting caught up on email. So I'm approaching the ability to get back into some AI work, and so I'm gonna give it a shot. There's also the whole weird thing about how like we've blown through their free period they offered everybody. So
I
now I
know.
think there is like another goes to the 7th, I think, of
To the
July.
7th, yeah.
So you got
And you
sort
can
of,
use
although
up to
it's different now.
50% of your limit
Yeah, there's
towards
something
Fable.
weird. It's
So it
not
got
really
worse and
clear.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of any of it. Security wise, it all seems like mostly fake news. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely not. It's not like there's been put in place some type of well thought out framework for this stuff. I mean, sort of. I don't even understand why it's coming back. Kind of. It's like if you're gonna lock it down till we get a real framework in place, then like let's do that. But it's like probably there wasn't the political will to go that far with it. So now it's just like, all right, we're just letting it back loose. But I thought it was really bad. So why are you letting it loose? So I don't know. It's all weird.
It's all weird. It's entirely unclear. I do wonder if OpenAI's, Sol, Luna, Terra, or whatever, if that kind of pushed them forward into being like, all right, well, we can't hold back this flood. So,
right.
We can't hold Fable back and let OpenAI out, but we can't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of politicking going on, which is terribly surprising.
Yeah.
And OpenAI was like, "Hey, brother, we're ready." And then the government was like, "What do we do about this other one that we seem to not like very much? So we should probably give them the go ahead." And it was, I saw some reporting that the security things that they found in Fable were like present in Haiku and Sonnet, and it was basically like find a bug, and they were like, okay, we found a bug. Oh my god, it finds bugs. And so the whole thing, of course, seemed a little wonky from the beginning, but I have to imagine OpenAI coming out with their new models kind of pushed this out the door.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know how you're going to stop the software coding aspects of this. It seems like, I mean, yes, I think there's probably some stuff to like not give people the plans for a nuclear weapon. Maybe you can do some of the stuff on the biology, although it kind of gets into the same area as coding. But like, I don't know. It's going to be a brave new world out there.
It is already a brave new world.
But we got
out
Fable,
there.
So I'm excited to try it.
We got Fable back. Everybody's moving to the cloud. So we have two in a row here. The first is the Cursor mobile app. So Lee Rob / Cursor put out this video showing off their new mobile app, and just as like a meta analysis, it was a good video. Like, it was a well shot video. It was beautiful. Whatever. You just can't beat the pull of like product market fit, because that video got like 8 million views or something. And it's not because it was like this amazing story. It was just because everybody wants the Cursor mobile app. And so they now have the mobile app. You can now run tasks in the cloud. I've seen several people talking about kicking stuff off from, kids' soccer games and stuff, which gives me the ick a little bit. But what do we think about this?
I mean, I'm kind of over the working from my phone thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like, all right, that was fun. Like last summer when AI started to hit, and I was like taking walks, and I was on my Codex app doing basically this exact thing. So this is just like kind of Cursor catching up, I guess. But like now I'm over it. Like, okay, I got the agents, I got the stuff, I do the work. I don't know. I'm sure occasionally it's useful to do the mobile app, although I haven't done it in months. I don't know. And there's the bigger question too about Cursor, and just like, I don't know, like Cursor, we're going to talk about AMP in a second. I feel like all these ones that don't have their own models, I mean, obviously Cursor, that's going to change here, presumably they'll have a Grok. There'll be a frontier lab at some point here, but I don't know. I still think that getting me off to these third parties is tricky.
It is tricky. And Cursor, I think they have their own like post-trained model. I think they like fine-tuned Kimi K25 or something. And they're definitely working on their own model.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
You're not a cursor guy, right?
I'm not a cursor guy. I'm just not. I still hop back and forth. I'm mostly still Codex and sometimes Claude, and I just can't stomach paying for those. I can't pay full freight for those.
Right.
But the people that use Cursor swear by it, and I don't know if that is the model or like the whole ecosystem around Cursor, which I think is interesting, because I do feel like some of the model stuff is becoming commoditized, even with like GLM 5.2 supposedly being very good. Again, I don't use the open source stuff, but it does feel like we're moving up from the base layer into, of course, the harness, but now beyond that with Cursor and the cloud and mobile and all of that. It feels like competition is eating away at the model layer.
What do you think is going to happen with what I find interesting about this is more like a year, 2 years, whatever from now, where like, because right now it's like, okay, some people like to use Cursor or similar because it's like, well, I use Claude, but then I use Codex, but then Claude comes out with a new one. I want to be able to move back and forth or whatever. And so, but presumably as these all get sort of feature parity and they're all like really good and the little bit better each one gets is irrelevant to your day-to-day tasks, like, on the one hand, you could see that going with like, oh, well, that makes it easier to use a cursor. But on the other hand, you can see it going like, I just stay in Claude's ecosystem and Claude has all this other stuff I use and whatever. And so like, I don't care about being able to use a third-party thing so I can swap between models because I never swap between models. So I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, and Hemp says that the latest model was ground up. So the Kimi pre-train or the Kimi post-train must have been the one before that, and Cursor's latest one is
but
ground
it's still
up.
a lesser model, although I know people like it speed-wise and stuff, I think.
To the question, I think this so Cursor's going up with mobile app and cloud, and down by training their own models. AMP is still firmly in like the harness only space, but their harness is incredibly good. Claude Code is moving up with desktop. Codex is moving up with desktop. So everybody's trying to capture the whole stack, because I do think it has become clear that you can switch models pretty easily and not lose anything. I'm loath to go all in on one particular vertical because I do want them to compete for my business, and I want them to continue. Like, I'm using Fable right now, and if I were all in on Codex, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I don't know. I think I'm still going to hop around. Probably the big labs and AMP is where I will continue to hop around.
Yeah, but that's also for now too, right? Like Fable's this big step up. That was an obvious big step up. So it's like, okay, like I'll go over there and use the big step up. But like, so maybe the big step up will keep coming and we'll need to keep jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll stop coming or they'll slow down, or we get to such a place that it doesn't even matter that it popped up because it's already smart enough to do my job. So
well, the bet I have taken with soloterm.com, it's very good, is that you can build out your own little meta harness and then just kind of use all of theirs inside of that. That way, when Fable comes out or when Codex comes out with sub agents or whatever, I can just use all of that. So trying to stay agnostic before diving into one particular vertical.
All right, tell us about what AMP's up to.
Speaking of AMP, I do love AMP. I gotta say, I know I am an AMP fanboy. AMP has launched orbs. Okay, so you would be forgiven if you have no idea what the hell an orb is. I will allow the forgiveness in that case. AMP has launched orbs, which is their take on sandboxes, cloud compute, VMs, whatever. So I pulled this from their post. Each orb has 32 gigs of memory, 16 cores, and costs $1.66 an hour. Billed by the minute. So this is another case of moving up the value chain. So now it's not just this incredible harness, it's also this incredible harness plus infrastructure. Those seem like big orbs to me. It feels like everybody else.
I was surprised by that.
It seems like everybody else is slicing those vCPUs pretty thinly, and AMP was just like, F that, let's give them everything. So I'll be curious who their provider is. But it's great. I mean, I've read the blog post, I've followed all the tweets. I have not pushed anything into anyone's cloud yet. I'm still all local, and I think that's partly a nature of building a desktop app. It's
Right.
just I just can't open a browser and look at the changes. But the whole fire off a task and then come back to it later seems to be the way that the zeitgeist is moving.
Yeah. I'm going to take a little side adventure just for 1 second to note. Outro.fm, use it. It's very good. Wrote in its auto summary of this link the same thing you manually wrote. I thought that was very
Did it really?
interesting.
Oh, it sure did. Yeah,
the
it
first
did.
line is the same thing you
Yep.
manually wrote. So the gopher is locked in.
The gopher's locked in.
That's a sidebar. So, yeah, I mean, I still think this whole thing's a mess. But I also think all this has to run remotely at some point because like it's very scary running it local, especially like for like as you get into more security stuff. I imagine we're going to have more automated security stuff. It's like, hey, every time you do something, you should be auto checking for security stuff. And really, to do that, you should be making the exploit, and then you should be testing the exploit. But now it's exploiting your machine, which is a bad idea. So I do think this is all going there. I don't know if this is the total solution. I was like you, very impressed with like these are like very beefy.
These are beefy
machines, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess again, it's like, do we end up in the world where the abstracted like third party is important or not? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, is the speed important or not? Even like this is a big beefy machine, but I know a lot of people are very caught up on how fast the AI runs. But I rarely care about that. I mean, every once in a while, I'm like really doing some small fiddly stuff, and I'll be annoyed that like it's taking a little while. So in those cases, I guess. But most of the time, I'm like, go off and build a thing, and then I do something else while it's off building a thing. And if it takes an extra 5 minutes, I don't really care. So
I do.
I don't know.
I care.
Okay. All right.
I want the current level of intelligence with 3 times the speed. I don't care if it gets any smarter. I just want it to get faster.
Yeah, I mean, just getting if it got way faster, right? I guess that also just opens up a whole bunch of stuff that could happen, right? That with real-time assistance and all those type of things. It would be cool if your auto completer was Opus 4.8 smart, but ran instantly, so it could auto complete crazy smart and things like that.
Yeah, part of me thinks that this moment in time is temporary, not only because life is fleeting, but because we're building all this orchestration to be like, let me run all this stuff unattended, and let me like have a place to run it, and have these specs and this orchestration, and all of that would go away if the models were just 3 times faster. I mean, you could just do the thing immediately.
Well, some of it, not the security part though.
Maybe not the security part, but like
which is maybe part of the orchestration.
This is my bias is I just don't rip 20 agents on different tasks at different times. And so I feel the pain of waiting for this thing to finish, maybe more so than people who are like, oh, I've already got 18 waiting on me. Who cares if these last 2 are taking time? So I do think some of this will start to be less important as the models get a lot faster. That's a bet.
Yeah, I don't think they're really making a push on the bet of local, which I would like to see more work there too, of like just the whole local story being better and like ephemeral VMs.
Local dev or local models?
Like local dev, not local models. Local models too, I guess they're sort of interesting, but I'm not really a believer in that you're going to be able to get local models anytime soon of the power that we all want. So local dev though, of like having, again, it depends why you're using these orbs, but in the sense of, in the aspect of the security aspect and the like getting it off your machine aspect, I think there's more that could be done locally. But yeah, in terms of obviously like I just have 30 agents and they're all ripping different things and they're automated from your GitHub pull requests and whatever, like that's also part of this and why they have these orbs. But I don't know. I got to get back into AMP at some point, but yeah, it's like got to pay individually.
No,
and all this
dude, you can hook
stuff
up your
and-
GPT subscription now or your
Oh,
Codex
yeah,
subscription.
They updated that, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's way cheaper. So AMP is still the only third-party harness that I use. Still amazing. So
Regularly.
shouts out to AMP.
Nice.
Is Sam Altman a good guy? Is he giving the American
man.
people a bite at the apple?
Oh
Or
boy.
or perhaps is he a strategic mastermind? I wonder which one it could be. Tell me, Ian, which one is it?
Well, apparently Sam Altman's offered or plans to offer, I guess wasn't totally clear, some percentage of OpenAI to the United States government. I hate everything about this idea. I don't like that we're invested in Intel. I don't like we're invested in anything. All these capitalist MFers on Twitter who are always yelling about all this stuff. Everybody just goes along with all this and they're all fine. I think it's terrible. I don't think the government should own any of it. And yeah, I think he's just trying to buy his way into the powers that be that like bribes. So I think it's mostly that, but it's not even the best way to give the money back. He presented it as the people should share in the success of OpenAI. And I like the Ben Thompson idea and similar ideas of then just pay the cold hard cash. Like you build a data center in a town, you pay everybody. OpenAI becomes so big that it runs the whole world. Great. Pay everybody. Come up with some scheme where you're paying people checks. Fine, do it. Cut us all a check.
So you want the OpenAI company town, but for the world.
Yeah, if that's what I don't even think that's true, and I don't think it's going to be true. But let's just say it actually happens, and OpenAI is a $1 trillion company, runs everything. Fine, then pay everybody. But it also just makes no sense of if it becomes so big, it's so powerful, the government could just take it. Ultimately, they could just take it if that was a thing and the government felt like they needed to own it. So this whole 5%, it's all meaningless both ways. Either it's so important it becomes the country, in which case the government will subsume it anyway. And if not, if it's just a normal company that wants to make people happy and buy love, then just cut checks, write checks. That's the way to do it. That's the way you do it. You buy people off properly.
The U.S. government should not be owning private companies.
No.
I agree with that, especially in this weird like if we had some sort of sovereign wealth fund and we bought into the S&P 500 or something, sure. But this
bad.
But that's better. That's better than hey, I'm going to give you 5% of
corruption,
OpenAI. Yeah. And then presumably you're going to let Sol, Terra, and Luna out the door. There's zero part of me that thinks this is philanthropic.
No,
0% of me thinks this is philanthropic. I do think this is potential trying to get to too big to fail territory. Hey, the American people own this. You should make sure that we're going concern. I think if they want the American people to participate in the upside, there's a mechanism by which we can do that. One is IPOing before you hit $1 trillion. And the other is the United States tax code. Those things exist to serve the American people. So
yes.
I don't like this. It goes into this slush fund. That makes me a little bit this is brand new. This is a vehicle that has never existed before. Why are we inventing it?
And the Intel stuff that they've done, I don't think they should have done it the way they did it, because I think the government could just do other things. We're going to buy the government's only going to buy servers with Intel chips, accomplishes the same thing of ensuring
monetary
Intel's
policy,
business,
yes,
but without this weird ownership part. But fine, at least you could make the case of there's only one chip maker in the United States and we should have at least one, and let's do some stuff to help them. But that's not true with AI. AI, the United States is the center of all the activity. We have all the best models, all the best brains. We have 3 or 4, frontier model companies, depending on how you want to count everybody. So there's no need to pick a winner and the government to back one of them. That's just all straight corruption stuff. We have all the best models right now. Maybe someday China will have all the best models and we'll be down to only OpenAI. And I guess maybe that's a different thing. But yeah, right now it's all silly. Just silly.
Sorry, Sam. We saw through it. Good luck convincing these 2 very influential podcasters about your plan.
That's right.
We're coming for you, Sam. Ian, what is in your stack this week besides doing a bunch of emails? Because I don't
Yeah,
want to hear
my
about that. I
stack's
don't want to hear about that
boring.
at all. Yeah,
This is
that's
going
the
to be a
worst
short
thing.
segment on my end because I haven't done anything. So I haven't even used the new Fable yet. So my stack is exactly the same as last time. I'm just whatever solo opus, nothing interesting. I got nothing for you. What do you want? I know you're doing stuff.
I got Fable for you.
Okay.
And like we mentioned earlier, I have picked up the Claude Code or the Claude desktop app, which is oddly consumer and developer. I don't know that that was a good idea. So I'm in the Claude app on the code tab with a thread or session going. The desktop app is nice. I still prefer the terminal. I just feel like I have more control over there. But this desktop app is pretty nice. There are a lot of affordances that I don't need, like the diff viewer, the terminal, the preview. Preview doesn't do anything for me because I'm building a desktop app. So I've been using Fable. When it came back on, I basically I've just finished a big feature called Workspaces for Solo, soloterm.com. It's very good. And I had Fable go back and review like that giant chunk of work, like many thousands of lines of code. And it found a lot. Like it found a lot of great stuff that Codex 5.5 had not implemented maybe in the best way possible. And I had it write failing tests, which I always do first. And it wrote, 17 red tests, which is very good. So very much enjoying the Fable. The other thing that is in my stack this week is Solo has the concept of prompt templates, which are basically just like stashed text. It's just snippets. It's not that interesting. But the interesting thing is I wrote a new one. Excuse me. I wrote a new one called Structure Cleanup Review. And what this one does is it explicitly instructs the agent to go back and look at the work we've most recently completed. Because, even when you're just developing by hand, if you remember that, you like find the path as you're going. And when you're done, you're like, all right, cool. The feature works. Now I've learned how the feature is supposed to work. Let's go back and see if there's anything we can do here. And this one specifically tells it to go back and look for known data structures or algorithms that could be pulled out. And so a few that are mentioned are state machine instead of scattered Booleans, a typed object instead of loose parameters, a map, registry, or lookup table, a reducer or command event model, queue, cache, index, graph, tree, collection. So what this is doing is saying like, hey, we spiked out the feature. It works great. Now that it's solidified, let's apply a little bit of computer science to it and say, now I can see clearly this should be a state machine. These should be enums, whatever. And it's been awesome. It's been great.
This.
Yeah.
Because I could see giving it that up front. I feel like when you give it too much of that kind of stuff up front, it goes off into like architecture, astronaut land. It does a bunch of weird stuff. So the refactor with that. Ooh, I like this idea. This is intriguing.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. All right. So that's a good new addition to your stack. Where do you, just a side adventure here from what you said first, when you have it refactor or like go through and look like, okay, send Fable through it, found a bunch of stuff. Like it always finds a bunch of stuff. So do you tend to just default to agreeing with the stuff it found? It's not even Fable specific, but just this workflow. Do you tend to just accept what it found? How deeply do you dig to its recommendations when it makes those recommendations?
Yeah, I make it give me a list of high, medium, low. And usually the low stuff is like, well, if it's a full moon and an asteroid comes, this could happen. And I'm like, I don't care about that. And sometimes it'll be like, hey, I found this thing. And I'm like, well, I know in my head that is saving space for something I'm about to build. So I never just say, yeah, let her rip. I always have to read through the findings. Because sometimes it'll say something and I'm like, oh, I literally didn't know that was there. Let's do this thing I have in my head that I know would be cleaner instead of just like fixing this one-off spot. So unfortunately, I do have to read you know what it says.
Still have to
Hate that
think.
for me. Hate that for me. That's why I can't let it rip overnight, because I got to read.
Yeah, I don't know. I still got a lot of questions. Maybe we need to have a guest on at some point. I have a lot of questions about what these people who are running 72 agents at once, like,
got a
what
lot
are
of
they
problems
doing?
with you people.
What are they building? I need examples to see what's actually been created this way.
Nothing.
Because I still don't really buy it, but maybe they're out there. I don't know. I'm dubious on the whole thing. I get the idea of like you have a tool that you sell to other people that does a bunch of things simultaneously. Sure, like Outro could have 5,000 customers and they're all ripping tokens all at the same time. I get that. But I don't get like me myself as a developer. I got 100 agents and they're all doing stuff and I know what they're doing, or even I don't know what they're doing, but they're producing good stuff on the other end of that.
No,
I don't know.
You know, I think the only people that are doing that for real are content creators and people building agent harnesses that can run multiple agents overnight.
Oh boy. All right, should we do Q&A?
Do we have any cues we need to A? I don't know that we have very many.
I don't know.
No cues. It's been pretty quiet.
Okay. Come on, people.
So yeah, I know. We'll give people a couple minutes here. One thing I was thinking about as you two were talking, and sort of the two of you are unrepentant capitalists as you have to be. Not saying that in a bad way at all. If you think about like how the government approached like building things up in the Cold War and their relationship with like military like hardware companies, right, where it's like they were deeply involved with them, but they weren't, but they would like get them to compete against one another, where it's like, oh, I want to build a new spy plane, submit submit your options and we'll pick the best one. And there was always some like crony capitalism going on there, but it at least seemed to be a little bit like, I could see a world where that's kind of how the government approaches this AI stuff. But then again, I could also see a world where it's just payoffs. Right. And that's about it.
But even there, I'm pretty sure in World War II, they didn't actually nationalize the industries. They or even own a percentage of the companies. They did it with money, right? They were like, hey, we need 10,000 bombers, right? Here's a bunch of money for 10,000 bombers, and go off and build factories and do all the stuff.
Yes, the power of
they're not
the
even
purse.
doing that, really. Yeah, they're not even really doing that of like, although I don't know if they need to for this in some ways, but I don't know. I feel like we're somewhat directionless on policy.
I don't remember the Cold War very clearly. But yeah, I think we have the best mechanism by which we can produce the best things, and that is capitalism.
There we go.
The cold hard dollar.
We got some questions
for. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I am for. I actually like the idea of regulating this stuff, but I think it needs to be like thought through and like considered, and there probably needs to be people actually know how the stuff works involved and some of that stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you won't hear me defending or even caring about the government ever, but it is moving very fast, and the government moves very slow. So I'm not surprised we've run up against some confusion.
Yep.
Speaking of confusion, people are wondering. They want clarity. What MCPs are either of you using?
What do you got loaded up over there, Francis?
The MCP that I use the most is Solo.
Yeah, that's definitely the one I use the most too.
That's the one I use the most. I have a few custom MCPs. One, Ian, you'll love this one, is it uses publicly available APIs to do domain searches. So that's just like a custom,
look at this
a custom little node script. And I can say, hey, I have this idea for this kind of like product or whatever. I need you to find domains that are like appropriate for that. Because, when you go search domains, you can go to anywhere and find a domain. The hard part is like, what should the domain be? And so I can say, let's explore these ideas. You can use these filler words at the beginning, only use .com.dev.app at the end. You can use these filler suffixes at the end. Go figure it out. And I'll come back 20 minutes later, and it's like, here are the 30 domains that are available. I like these two the most, and this one has .com, .dev, and .app all available. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I don't have too many. I have Linear in most projects, and I have HelpSpot that I use for HelpSpot, which is my own product. And I feel like there's one more that I often have loaded up, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, that's about it. I'm not a big have 100 MCPs going kind of guy.
Nobody asked me, but in my normie like day job, I use MCPs and connectors to do all kinds of
This is right
stuff
up
with
your
Claude.
alley. This is
well because
so you got
I'll
100 MCP servers in there.
well, no,
100
I'll give you an
least.
example. So, like, when Aaron was out at Laravel Live UK, we had the VIP enterprise dinner, right? So I took like the export of that list on the morning of, and I fed it into Claude, and I was like, "All right, buddy, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go look up in HubSpot. You're gonna go look up in this place.
Cool.
You're gonna go look up in this place, and you're gonna create basically like a crib sheet that I can hand out to all the people attending of like, here's the key stuff, here's what our accounts are, but also if it's somebody new, here's what I was able to find out about them in this system or that system. So like I use it for normie stuff like that.
This guy, Aaron Francis, seems real important.
Make sure it wrote some really nice things about you.
Oh,
you know,
that's
if I remember correctly. Yeah, I know.
Very nice.
Right. Related, not sort of related. What skills do either of you use, and are there any that stand out in your workflow? Another
question. I've pulled back pretty hard on skills. If I'm being totally honest, I still have the Vercel React best practices loaded because the front end of this desktop app is React. But I've pulled back pretty hard. One reason being I use Claude and Codex and AMP, and the skill management story is still a disaster across multiple labs. And that is why I've switched to these prompt templates, which are functionally skills, but instead of like referencing or auto loading them, you just paste the text in, which is all done by hotkey. And so the one I talked about earlier, I have one prompt template that's like, what is the most radical and like accretive change we could make to this current plan that we're working on, and why is that better? That one's always really helpful when I'm chatting and it comes up with like, all right, here's what I think we should do. Then you just kind of like try to kick it further out of the distribution and say, what's the most radical thing we could do here? And it's like, I can be radical within the distribution. And it's usually really helpful. So I've pulled back real hard on skills.
Yeah. I don't have many. I have an architecture review one, a code review one. Both of those just spin up basically the alternate models. So if I'm in Claude, it forces Solo to use a Solo MCP to spin up codexes and review stuff. And I think those are the only skills I actually use. I might have a few others, but yeah, like half of it's like I don't even want to build a skill because I'm like, what if I end up over here? I do it at the global level, but sometimes that's kind of annoying. But if I do it in a project, but now I need it in the other project, I don't have it there. So like there's a whole, it's all ugly there. So I don't like any of that. So I've been mostly avoiding it. And I kind of feel like, I feel like skill extraction is like, you got to be real, like using something a lot at this point to bother extracting it, because the models are getting good and you can just tell it to do stuff and it's fun. So
I was going to say, this feels like a problem Solo could solve, right? Just abstracting all of that away from like, how is it per project per like, but how,
that's kind of what these templates
prompt
are.
Templates, baby.
Templates, yeah.
You can bind them globally or you can bind them to single projects. Yep.
That's it for questions.
Right. Cool.
All right. We got two more topics. Going further and further and further up the stack, Claude has released a science beta. It's your AI workbench for scientific research. If there's something you and I know about, it's doing science, I guess. So what the hell is going on here?
I don't know. I just thought this was cool. They have this like science desktop app that's like hooked into all the scientific journals, and then like as you, I'm going to say, do science. It is, it's like a code editor for science is the vibe I'm getting, although I haven't done science in a while, so I don't know if that's entirely accurate. But it's all within this app, and then it can do the cross references, and it can do like Python and R and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know, it seems cool. I like this idea mostly of kind of things breaking out into specializations and like having kind of custom UIs for different AI uses and things of that nature.
So is this reminiscent of Apple Sherlocking some of its best applications? Like, are they going to do, is Claude going to do a an application for attorneys and just like try to kill Harvey. You know,
you would think, right?
If you're a $1 trillion company, I feel like you got to have a couple of irons in the fire. And if I were, and in some regards, I am building on top of Claude or Anthropic in general, this would have made me nervous. Like if, you know, if I'm building a science app based on artificial intelligence and then Claude, like they just have more distribution than I have.
Right.
And so I still cannot get my head around how they release stuff so quickly and how much stuff they release. And I'm not convinced, at least on the coding side, like you said, I don't do science very often. At least on the coding side, the quality I feel like has started to slip just a little bit with their release cadence. And so I'm curious like what their internal planning around products they're going to bring to market is, because this feels very cool, but kind of like the realm of, this feels like user land to me, but maybe I'm misunderstanding what their mandate is.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like user land. I mean, I don't know, right? You can imagine like customer service software. I can imagine that's an obvious thing to build, right? Customer service software. But there are these like, it's like, do they want to go all the way with these things? Because it's easy to say we're going to build a customer service bot, right? And we're going to let you upload some stuff. But the reality is like real companies just, they have data all over the place. They have like all kinds of stuff all over. So really what that would actually mean is like, we're building this giant structure that was going to connect you to all your Microsoft things and all this, your HubSpot, right? Blah, 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 all your stuff and suck it all in and do stuff with it, which is a humongous undertaking. So are they going to really try to become like 10, 20 different software companies?
Yes, they are.
I mean, that's what it seems like they're doing, but are they really going to do that? I don't know. Like right now,
I mean,
coding is very close to what they do themselves.
Yes.
Right. Science is also very close to what they do themselves. I'm assuming they probably have like some real sciencey type folks who are doing sciencey type things close enough.
You'd have to imagine,
right? To like that. Yeah, we can abstract this into a more generalized science solution. I mean, I guess the same is true of customer support, kind of. I mean, whatever. There's a couple different areas, but like, I don't know. Are they going to go into all those areas? I don't know.
They are. They also just announced the Claude Slack thing where you can just tag Claude in Slack. And so they're coming for like business ops, obviously, because they've got the desktop app and computer use and all of that stuff. So yeah, I think they're just going in. I feel like they still have the AI psychosis where it's like, we could build anything, therefore we must build everything. And they're still executing, where most of us have been like, oh man, now I've got 30 projects that are 70% done. They're like, just ship it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm all for the science push, just like broadly. We should be using this to cure type 1 diabetes. I perhaps have a vested interest in that, but we should be using it for that. But I don't know if this portends bad things for like their customer user base. You know what I mean?
There is an interesting dynamic though that I wonder if it'll keep them in check, which is like even the Slack thing. Like they didn't come out with a new Slack. Like we fully reimagined Slack as like an AI first thing, right? Like why are you using that old stupid Slack? You should use our AI first thing. So there is this dynamic, like these other huge companies are using Claude for a lot of things. And if you make them your enemy, like they actually, like, again, we were talking about at the beginning, there's competition. They can switch from Anthropic to OpenAI. So if Anthropic starts building a bunch of stuff that makes Microsoft mad, Microsoft can say, okay, well, screw you guys. Like we're just going to do all our stuff with OpenAI, or we're going to do all our stuff with Grok or whatever. So like that would then hurt Anthropic fairly badly. So I don't know. There might be enough pressure there that's like, oh, if we like try to absorb everybody's frontline businesses too quickly anyway, like maybe over decades, but like if we try to like in the next year just build all these apps, people are gonna get mad at us and they're gonna stop paying us for the actual model usage, and that's actually the real moneymaker, way more than $10 a month.
Which is what Meta just did. They were just like, we're bringing it all in house because we spent $220 million this quarter or something.
Yeah. They're building their own AI offering, right? We don't even have that on the list here, but yeah, so they're going to have their own data centers and sell them to the public.
Sell compute,
sell compute. So exactly. So there might be enough pressure, but at the same time, having that lock-in is amazing. When you're somebody's Slack, they are fully locked into you, and it's very hard to leave. So
I think the model of, hey, let's put Claude in Slack is that's a better Trojan horse than let's recreate Harvey, which is the AI for lawyers, because everyone's already in Slack. And so then you have this little embedded Claude thing, and you don't have to change how you're working. Your work just got more powerful. So if we're comparing those two launches, I think Claude in Slack is probably the savvier move. I don't know if Claude Science has a lot of competitors. I'm led to believe it probably does. And so they're probably feeling that pretty acutely right now. And also the Claude in Slack has a lot of competitors, and they just got hosed because now Anthropic's doing it first party. So wild, wild west. Claude, or rather Anthropic, has released a new old model. It's Sonnet. So it's not a new family. It's just Sonnet 5.
Yeah.
And why would we use Sonnet 5?
I want to learn to use these lesser models, but I don't
What's
really.
What's the point?
Yeah, there's kind of no point still. I think at some point there will be a point when the lesser model is like Opus 4.8 level, presumably, but then even not. But although maybe it's going to be, I mean, obviously Fable soon is just going to be pay for use in the next week. So that will put a different level of motivation, right, on when do I want to use the expensive models and when don't I? And so I think people are going to have to start to think about that more versus just defaulting to always the expensive model. But yeah, I don't know. But then Sonnet 5 got kind of weird. It sounds like I, again, haven't had a chance to use it yet, but it's more tool calling and more this and that. But then some people are saying it's not as good as the old one. So I don't know. It's a weird crossing of the streams a little bit too. It seems like it's more expensive by a lot. So it's like, well, if I'm paying a lot more, I'll just use the better model.
I still hold that if you're doing software development, you should just be using the biggest and baddest model that you can afford. Now, if you're doing, let's say on outro.fm, it's very good. If you're using like the Gopher, maybe that's a place where you're like, okay, my users are using AI, therefore I am hooked up to the Anthropic API. And this doesn't need to be Opus 4.8 level. It just needs to be good enough and pretty fast. I could see Sonnet being used for those use cases.
The Gopher does use Sonnet by default.
There you go.
Yep, he does. There's a few things that will move to Opus, and there's a few things that use Haiku, and then the kind of baseline when you interact is Sonnet. So
yeah. Exactly. So I think maybe my confusion and viewpoint comes from this narrow use case of I'm 98% using AI to write code for me, and there's just no chance that I'm going to cheap out and use a lesser model. If it was like, hey, create a summary from this transcript, yeah, of course I'm going to use a lesser model, and maybe that's where Sonnet 5 and the whole Sonnet family comes in. But these takes of like, spend all your time orchestrating the models to send the appropriate tasks to the appropriate model. I'm like, brother, just give me the bazooka and I'll kill the fly with it. I don't care.
Well, I think that comes down to like the value, right? Like the value for a software developer is extremely high. So no matter what it costs, you are extracting more value than you're putting in for the most part. Whereas like the incremental cost of like the Gopher across thousands of customers and like what each customer is using it for is just some small little summarization task or to add something to a board or whatever. Like there might even in fact be downsides. Like not only is it costing more money and you have to charge them more money, but it's like it's actually slower. Whereas like actually they just want it to happen faster. And so there's like the trade-offs there make more sense. But what do you think about OpenAI copping the sort of Anthropic naming scheme with the 3 tiers and the whatever Luna, Terra, whatever?
I think it's awesome.
Okay,
love the names Luna, Terra, Sol, or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Because as I told you online, space is awesome. So that part's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
I love, obviously we don't have access to these yet. So we're just talking about naming.
Right.
I love that we have proper names for things again. Like I don't want to talk about GPT 5.4 versus 5.5 or like I just want these things to have a name, and I feel like everybody has struggled with naming. Fable, cool name. Mythos, cool name. Luna, Terra, Sol, cool names. So maybe they're finally spending some tokens on branding over at these labs.
What do you think they're going to keep? So this is the thing. I was a little irked by it because like more stupid names from OpenAI, whatever. Now, if they're actually doing what Anthropic does, I think I'm okay with that. But it's not totally clear because like when you see the OpenAI people talk about it, they actually say 5.6 Sol, and it's like, so I don't know. I guess I'm just like what they actually do with it, if they are consistent with it, and that you can trust that Sol means this tier, and like 2 years from now, Sol's still going to mean that tier, then I'm totally fine with it, and I think it's cool. If that's not what it means, and it's like we're just coming up with new names all the time, and next year there's going to be a new group of names, then I think it's all dumb. So I guess we'll see what they do with it, but.
Yeah, jury's still out, but regardless, those are pretty badass names. So
I do like.
I'm on board with that. Yeah. Anything else, or is that the show?
That's the show. We went long, but we're okay.
All thank you to Bento at bentonow.com for all your email needs. You can find us at tokentown.com in your podcatcher of choice as well, or live almost every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central on x.com, the Everything app, and YouTube, and that's probably it. So thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to like and subscribe, obviously, and we will see you next week.
Later. All right, there we go. We're back.
That's it. That's the show.
That's the show.
Real pros.
Let's go. We had some stuff built up, you know. So it's fine.
Yeah,
just a week or two.
Fine.
It's fine. We caught up.
Ian, I have a feature request for
give it to me
for outro. I would love, especially since I feel like a lot of our topics there's a link associated with it. I would love to just be able to. I just want to grab a list of all those links. I just want to grab because I'm actually because I'm like this is how I create show notes, right? Where it's
yeah. So well, I guess kind of finish the thing where you can actually build the show notes, and then you'll have the list of links in the show notes that were built. Now you'll probably end up tweaking it from there. I
That's fine.
Although if we get dialed in, but yeah, some way to just grab the links or like some kind of. Oh, you could ask the gopher. He could do it.
Oh, just grab me all the links from today's show.
Yeah, he'll do it.
That's good.
It should work.
Okay.
And then you could copy paste the whole list out.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yep. I believe in
I'll just try. I'm just gonna prompt inject Gopher. It's fine. I'm just gonna be like,
I know. This is the thing with like having this thing in the app. It's like it's pretty scary because you're like, well, if I leave it open so it's really useful, like people can just kind of do anything, which is how I have it right now because it seems like that's the best way to do things. But I imagine people are gonna do terrible things because that's what people do.
People are the worst.
Yeah. So.
But also the best, Aaron. They're the best.
Yeah, some people are the best.
All right, I don't know. We got anything else to cover in the after show, or
you guys would have got a kick out of this last? Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
No, I was just gonna say we got World Cup to watch, but what would we get a kick out of?
That's right.
I
love getting a kick.
I was gonna say last night at the Resend meetup I was at in New York, or the Resend event. Somebody from Warp did a talk on basically like the modern software factory, and I was just watching this thinking I was like, Aaron and Ian could do a whole episode entirely based off of this talk.
100%.
Yep.
We got takes.
Well, what was interesting is like it was just like there was like five talks, and like 4 of them were of course like people really using AI at the bleeding edge, and like in between people are looking over like, are you guys using AI that intensively?
I know.
No.
I want to be the guy pretending to use AI at the bleeding edge. This might be my new persona. I
make a lot more money pretending.
Yeah, I agree.
At the bleeding edge.
Oh man, I built 7 apps this week. They're coming out soon. It's all happening.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Or a hot take show where we take somebody's talk and do hot takes on it. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
watch it live. First time watch. Like those things I discovered.
You just
on
want to be Ian wants to be a reactor on YouTube.
He does. I just discovered this React thing. I didn't know about it.
Oh boy.
I know. I just discovered it. I'm an old man discovers YouTube, but yeah, I don't know. I like the reacting. I gotta have a React show. I gotta figure out something to react to.
Aaron,
you could react to poker streams for sure.
not a bad idea.
Poker reactions.
You-
Oh no.
Would be great at that.
We're never gonna see him again. That's
He's
it.
great
He's
at that.
That's it. I'm done with these other shows. I'm done with
outro is
working.
never gonna get any more
No,
improvements.
never shipping it. No. Poker reacting to poker hands. This is sort of a thing already, but like people cover them for real. And I like the idea of it. No. We're not going through like the math and stuff. It's just me going, can you believe? Yeah, it's just me doing 10 minutes
You'd be great at that.
Yeah.
You have a great astonished
love
bit.
that.
You'd be so good at that.
Ooh, yeah, I like this idea. Plus you go through old hands, it's kind of like infinite content. It's just new to the viewer. It doesn't have to be new, actually new. So
Aaron, it's Spain versus Austria right now. Who you got? You have
I want Austria. I think
Okay.
Spain will win.
I want Austria. I want one of these upsets to actually come through. We've had all these like almost upsets.
Well, we've had a few. Paraguay beat Germany.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good one.
Senegal almost beat Belgium, which
I
I really wanted to happen.
But
yes,
if we can England almost lost
get
too.
Austria instead of, so if Spain goes through, Spain will probably beat Portugal, Croatia, and then we'll face Spain. So I kind of want Austria to put them out of their misery early.
Are you going US? Is that your core team on this, Aaron? Who you're rooting for?
That is my sincere hope. I think we can do it because I'm American. I think we can do anything.
I don't know. I don't think they look that great. But
I think France is going to win.
Yeah,
France looks terrifying. They look
France is.
They're going to run into Messi. That's it. Messi's going to take him down.
Messi doesn't run. He's not running.
He doesn't need to run. They're
going to walk into Messi.
Years. Yeah, Messi hasn't ran in decades.
Argentina has Messi. France has like 5 people that are just absolute murderers. So
maybe somebody will pick them off before even the end. You never know. Some weirdo upset.
Let's
Messi
see.
gets,
Paraguay,
Mbappe
France
gets
is
sick
next.
or something.
Yeah. So Paraguay and France, and then whoever wins that goes to Morocco, Canada. So I bet France is going to beat Paraguay, and then they'll face Morocco. Is my guess.
Are you following this, Dave?
Yeah.
You're on it.
Okay. Yeah. We have a very international team here at Laravel. So we got the English folks are very, very excited about because it's always coming home. It's perpetually coming home.
Thing.
Yeah.
England's gonna get crushed in the Azteca by Mexico.
Oh boy!
Wait, are they playing down in? Are they playing Mexico in Mexico?
Yeah, they're in Mexico.
Oh my god!
At like
2,000
feet or 3,000 feet or something.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
that's instant like.
That's a cool. I think that's the stadium, right? With there's like a mountain up behind the stadium or whatever. It's like a really cool view.
Gonna get freaking crushed. Let's see. Mexico, England is July 5th.
Sunday. Beautiful.
Yep. Sunday, 7 p.m. That is, kids are in bed. The weekend is finally over. And I can turn on a soccer game, a good one. That's going to be a day, man.
Brazil, Norway will be good too.
Yeah. But that's 3 p.m. I'm not allowed to watch that because that's 3 p.m.
The kids, you got to introduce the kids to this. How have you not introduced the kids to it?
I've had it on mute when they've been awake.
Mute? Come on.
Yeah,
this is a big thing. It happens every 4 years. They're going to be 9 the next time this happens. You got to get it in now.
They don't care.
This is how you make them care.
What's happening? So, but yeah, Mexico, England at the Azteca. Ooh.
You're gonna get a beverage. You're gonna have a Dos Equis or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a Guinness and a margarita. Sit on the fence.
Yeah.
Not at the same time. Hope that's just
no. I think you should same
combo.
time.
Yeah.
Just,
Weekend's over, baby. Why not?
Gotta celebrate the end of the weekend when you got.
I know. I love the end of the weekend.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right.
All right. I got a game to watch.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
See y'all later.
Bye, y'all. See ya.